And you're listening to a Token Nerd Network podcast. 3, 2, 1. Where we ramble on about geeky things. Things ranging from Batman to pop figures to Star Wars.
From Token Nerd Podcast.
Stay spicy, my friends.
So I felt like that one kind of got us all excited for it.
Oh no, I was waiting for like 2 more openings before we actually started.
Oh, ha, ha, ha. All right. Welcome to the Token Nerd Network podcast. Wow, I am really loud today. Let me...
You're loud every day.
I get that. I get that. But welcome to the Token Nerd podcast, where we ramble on about geeky things, ranging from Batman to pop figures to Star Wars. I'm your host, Anthony Pettiford.
I'm Addison Lee.
And I'm Silk.
And we're here for our... It's been a while since we've done a 3-person podcast. Normally it's just 2. Me and Travis, me and Addison, me and Silk. And I'm trying to think who else we had.
Abby.
Abby was on that one time. Twice, actually. Yeah. So we, like I said, we ramble on about geeky things. We're here with episode 55. A ton of things have happened in the news, but we're going to focus in on... not as many topics as we normally do. We usually do everything that came out in the week, and we try to cram it all into 45 minutes to an hour. But I also like how I always say it's going to be 45 minutes, but all of our podcasts are at least 60 minutes. But so I really want to get started with just letting people know that if you're in the Ohio area, we have the Cincinnati Comic Expo coming up on September 20, I believe it's 22nd to 24th. It's at the Duke Energy Center. I always want to say Duke Nukem Energy Center, but it's the Duke Energy Center. Next to C2E2, it's actually my favorite comic convention that happens in the States. I don't go to New York Comic Con or San Diego, but for what it is, it's a ton of fun. I've been going to it since it was just a first floor. It was a solo floor convention where there were like 4 booths of artists and a couple cosplayers as stormtroopers. Mm-hmm. And then now it has the entire convention floor, and it's one of my favorite things to do. So I've actually requested off for work on it, and we'll be down there. We'll be interviewing different artists, maybe revisiting some of our friends that are currently in the comic book industry, both mainstream and indie. But let's jump to our topics of the day. We're starting off with a little bit of negativity that's been going around online. So I know both of you guys, because I sent you guys a text message with the image on it, but Misty Knight from Luke Cage, everyone's favorite police officer in Hell's Kitchen. Well, not really Hell's Kitchen. In Harlem. The only...
She's a detective.
Yeah, detective. But she got her robotic arm. And so we're going to dabble into spoilers for a second, so bear with me. In the end of The Defenders, there was a long pause there. Misty Knight lost her arm. Everyone's least favorite member of the Hand took a sword, cut off her arm.
No, the sword got like stuck in a wall and someone hit it, and the sword like ricocheted up. And
really, that's how it happened?
It happened so fast, no one really noticed. It was just it was kind of just like collateral damage, literally. That's what happened.
Her arm was collateral damage.
Yeah. It was just like fight. He kicked the sword and then just...
So fight. Black girl's arm, we're good. Collateral damage.
You're like, oh, whoa, that happened.
Welcome to America.
All right, that's how we going.
So this is not new. So Misty Knight in the comic books has a robotic arm. In the comics, it was, I believe she was stopping a bomb. There was some kind of bomb going off, and in the process of defusing it and saving people, she lost her arm. Now, in the Defender series, technically they were racing against a bomb.
There's many different variations of how she lost her arm.
Yeah, well, the one I'm pulling from was the original one at least not the original one, but the only one I've pulled from online, because I'm not a huge Heroes for Hire fan. I got Addison here it was the Heroes for Hire
Essential.
Yeah, essential that we got, or I got when I was at Universal back in like 2008.
Yeah.
And so she was in it here and there, but she didn't have the robotic arm then. But anyway, so Misty Knight has her prosthetic arm, and the internet blew up. And as usual, there's two sides. There are the people who love it, and there are people who hate it.
Well, that's because you said exactly what it is. It's a prosthetic arm and not a robotic arm.
Yeah.
Because if you were expecting like a Star Wars level robotic arm,
then it would be like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
They could have did it.
Well, they could have, but they don't want to give them the money. There's a difference. That's the big deal.
Just take the money that they use making that horrible Notebook or Death Note movie and just use that for the prosthetic arm.
We should that should be another completely separate episode. When
No,
we talk
but
about
at the same time,
have the money to cosmetically make their arm look better.
But here's the thing. I don't know if you ever watched Orange is the New Black, but there's a character who has a prosthetic leg.
Yes.
And there's a scene where you see him take off the prosthetic.
Yeah, the cop.
Yeah, the cop. There's he's sitting like on a bench and his nubs out, and it is so like you can almost see like the green sleeve on his leg of where it is. Mm-hmm. So I think what works with that arm is that you're pretty much putting, it almost looks like plates on her arm. So you don't have to do the whole, because I mean I watched a few scenes of Game of Thrones with Jaime Lannister when he has his gold hand. Mm-hmm. Spoilers, I guess. It almost kind of looks like someone is, instead of like having a nub, it looks like he's just holding.
Yeah, it's longer than the rest of them. I also
think like it's also a Stick. Like Stick had his arm cut off, but somehow his arm is longer than the rest of his body.
Yeah.
Or his other arm, because instead of having
also
the nub,
a spoiler,
he just wrapped it up, and
he's
it's
killing
just
everybody day, isn't he? He's spoiling everything.
Yeah.
Okay, and then also let's also go to Arrested Development when the brother lost his hand to the seal. They
what a reach, but no,
yeah,
I get it. You're right.
Instead of like trying to fix the arm problem, they're just like, okay, I mean, again, it's a comedy, so they just had him, pull out his sleeve, and
that's why a full robotic arm would be so much better than the prosthetic they gave her.
Well,
they gave her a prosthetic instead of saying.
I think that works because you don't have to put CGI on it. Because if you had a CGI arm with the budget of a Netflix show, it's going to look very jarring. Unfortunately, and that's just how, if you really think about it, like if you look at a lot of Netflix effects outside of like Iron Fist, because I think that's where all the budget goes, is we're going to make his hand glow right. But everything else looks very CGI. And if you had a robotic arm, it would look very jarring, especially when Luke Cage, out of all the other shows outside of Jessica Jones, is kind of the most real. Like there's no...
Grounded.
Grounded
is the word.
Yeah, grounded, I guess. So I feel like a robotic arm like that would be very jarring.
But she's not fully in every episode.
True.
So
actually, she might be, because this is Luke Cage's series, and they kind of co-own this whole, or co-run this whole series.
She was in every episode, but two.
Yeah.
But her robotic arm won't be used in every episode. It just be there as a staple.
But at the same time, the robotic arm isn't. I don't think she's going to have strength with it. I think it's literally just
no. But she should
arm.
have strength with it. Now she shouldn't have the strength like Luke Cage has, because she's a normal person. Her back technically couldn't lift 3,000 pounds. But she should be able to still crush things, break through.
That's fine. She can be able to crush.
That's one thing about.
But she's never had strength.
Yeah, she has that super strength from that. Yes,
no,
the arm.
That's just robotic arms in fiction.
Yeah.
In general.
Which
but I feel like in this,
it even states in her bio that she's never once had super strength because her body and back cannot lift something heavier than they normally can lift.
And that's why I think it's okay for him to look like a prosthetic arm instead of a robotic arm. Because if you have a robotic arm, you have expectations of being able to do whatever. This arm is literally just for her to hold her gun again and be a police officer. It doesn't have to do anything special. That's why it doesn't have to look like anything special.
It's not from Stark Industries. It's a Rand prototype.
Which I think I would have liked better if it was Hammer, but because
I think Hammer would have been kind of
because
funny.
they already talked about Hammer and Luke Cage in general. So I think it would have been cool if it was Hammer.
They did. You're right.
Yeah,
that's where Diamondback got his suit.
Yeah,
I'm okay for it coming from Stark because it would just throw a little bit more shade toward the Hammer industry.
Yeah.
When it's saying, well, this was a Stark product. And also I have to say one line, it's a Stark product.
Or maybe this arm that they have right now is Hammer, and then they get a better robotic arm. It's like, oh yeah, this is a Stark arm. It's already better than.
And that would be even better. It would add to the Marvel and the trademark with Stark crushes Hammer.
But I think they're going to go with it's going to be Rand mostly just because
it has to link. But
yeah,
now that I think about it, it would make more sense to be in a world where Diamondback got his super strength suit from Hammer. Yes, it would make more sense that an arm that could. And that's also what I get from. So when I say super strength, I don't mean super strength, but that robotic strength of like, if she picked up a rock, she could smash a rock. But that's where I like, even with Full Metal Alchemist, this is and other different shows that have robotic arms and prosthetics. It's if you lift it up, it's like even with superheroes, when Superman even the TV show, Superman would like lift up a door on a car and the whole car would lift. No, the rest of the car would break off of the car door arm.
And like if you would catch Lois Lane like a princess style, her spine would go.
Yeah, that's a different physics. I mean like Edward Elric. If Edward Elric lifted up something super heavy, I feel like the metal of his arm could do it, but then it would rip off his body.
A character from Full Metal Alchemist did that too. I can't remember her name, but she was one of the bodyguards of Ling.
The ninja.
Yeah, she tried to grab Ling when he was falling, and as she grabbed him, like her arm was like ripping out of her socket, which was one of the most disturbing scenes. Just because it's like when I watch it, I can almost like feel the metal in her connecting her muscle tissues just ripping out. I didn't like it, but yeah, similar to that, it's like the strength can only work so long, and that's why I think the prosthetic is better suited for Misty.
I would be okay with the prosthetic and the entire look of it if it came from Hammer. It would make sense. It would fit. And then later on down the line, maybe even toward the end of the season, where if she gets a better one because this one got damaged from even Rand, whatever.
I think it's gonna come from Rand first.
Yeah,
just because they made a point at the end of the season to be like, well, this whole thing is owned by Danny.
I thought they were doing that so they could also. I've also heard rumor that they were
Claire's gonna get a new job.
No, that they were going to instead of doing long stories, there will be little like nugget stories in between, like how there was the Punisher storyline in Daredevil, and then it went on to something else. So like there would be a Legends Tomorrow, a Heroes for Hire, and then followed by Heroes for Hire would be the
Misty Knight.
It's Nightwing. That's what they're called. Nightwing.
No.
I know they wouldn't use it, but it would go from theirs to Daughters of the Dragon.
So now DC's gonna sue somebody instead of the other way around. But
yeah, we'll get to that later.
That would be horrible. First off, they have built up right now to not have a Heroes for Hire because they have made Luke Cage be such a freelancer and I'm here for the people, want to help the people, that it would seem wrong now.
Oh, I completely disagree. I think it's set up perfectly.
No,
actually, I do agree with Eddie, mostly just because I agree with Silk that you're right. The way Luke Cage is, he is a person of the, he's a man of the people. Now I can see him and Danny doing a team up because I think because back in the day you had Luke Cage was kind of the loose cannon and Danny was the calm one. Now it's kind of the other way around where Danny is the loose cannon and Luke Cage is more the zen guy.
That's great.
But no, it's just the idea that Luke Cage would ask people to pay him because like we saw in that one montage of him actually doing hero for hire stuff. People just said, "Hey, Luke Cage, someone did this," and he's like, "Okay, I'll go deal with it," and he just walked and did it.
And that's what. Okay, so
it's not
one of the big,
up.
I know, but one of the big things that they've done in the recent comics, like even if you play off of the old, what was that video game, Ultimate Alliance?
Yeah.
Like their Luke Cage thing was how they would always say they're gonna charge, and at the end they would say, he would just let them go or whatever, because the whole point was Luke didn't have a job. They kept talking about how he needed to make money. And I could see him saying, well, I can do this. And like you said, he's a man of the people. So he would help people out. No, everyone talks over me. No. So he would help people out. And then what better way to do it than with the person that he feels like he has to look over? I feel like he's going to feel responsible for Danny.
The only way that would work would be him not asking for money, but people know that he doesn't have a job and can't find a job, and people giving him something in return for his work without him asking for it. That's the only way that'll work.
I mean,
right now he's the people's champion. He's a free person for the people to help them, to defend them. So it's not set up right now for the little girl that was down the street asked for help. Now he's going to say, well, I'll do that same job I did for you last year, for $20.
I disagree. I think I can see the Heroes for Hire coming up. I can see the whole, and not like the whole storyline is the business of it, but the Heroes for Hire is like they are going to take a job. Someone's going to approach them about, hey, I'm going to give you this kind of money to do this. And Luke Cage is going to go, you know what? I really can't say no to that. And I feel like Danny's going to become alienated again after he's going to become a vigilante because
he's taking over Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah. And so he's going to now I like the idea that I can't really map how the Netflix series goes, at least with Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and Daredevil. Iron Fist you can kind of navigate through.
I'm more interested in Iron Fist now because I would like to see him take over Hell's Kitchen as a vigilante. I'm interested now because, spoilers, hand's gone. I hope the hand's gone.
They're not.
No.
I know. I'm hoping.
The hand is... Well, actually, you know what? You're right. Hand, the organizing part of it. The interesting thing about them is they didn't... Well, that's a lie. They had...
If Matt Murdock came out of that, then somebody else did too. That's
they're
comic books 101.
I know. But I'm just hoping that they can move on to something else. Because at first I really thought the Defenders were going to be fighting the Wrecking Crew. Because I think the Wrecking Crew is kind of they're equal when it comes to brute strength. Mm-hmm. I kind of hope that's where phase 2 of this Marvel universe kind of goes. Because right now, I think what they need to realize is Danny doing mystical stuff, or the mystical stuff that was happening in Iron Fist just wasn't working. Now, if they, one, they need to restructure it, and two, they also just do the vigilante story. They can also kind of take from the Black Panther Man Without Fear, because there was a time where Matt Murdock kind of retired because of he was possessed by a demon or whatever, so he left Hell's Kitchen, and Black Panther was disgraced, and they took all his vibranium away from him, so he was just a man, and he thought how am I going to get? It's pretty much how T'Challa got his groove back. And he went, and how did he watch that movie? So much. And how did he do it? He goes to Hell's Kitchen, which is like the Gotham of the Marvel universe, and that's where he.
So New York,
yeah,
New York is the Gotham of our universe.
Well, it is.
So that's
that's what
he did.
Boston, I think isn't Gotham City Boston?
I'm not sure.
I forget. They've changed.
But essentially, that's what Black Panther did for 2 story arcs, was that he was the vigilante of Hell's Kitchen, and I think. Iron Fist should do that. I mean, maybe Iron Fist did this in the comics. I'm not sure. I don't follow Iron Fist separately. I follow Heroes for Hire, the Luke Cage and Iron Fist together. So I think that's what they should do, is just focus on the vigilanteism of it and give him the mask.
I think anywhere they go, Iron Fist needs to be redone from the ground up.
Yeah.
His entire character is just badly written.
Well, hopefully Matt Murdock's quote unquote death, it will affect that instead of make him just more brutal.
I want him to come back as the Hand, like in the comics.
I don't want to hear about the
I'm
Hand.
done with the Hand. I want.
I don't even want to hear someone say a hand. Give me help me with something. Don't give me a hand.
It's different. My issue with the whole hand thing is that it went from being a Nobu from season 1 of Daredevil, who was this trained assassin. Daredevil fought all these other trained assassins who could stop their heartbeat, but then we got to the point where we saw these other hand people who were, white grunts.
Well, it was rushed. The Hand was rushed instead of, you could easily have brought in a different character in each of the series. Like Luke Cage fought one, Jessica Jones fought one, brought them in differently. But they rushed them and tried to put them all together, and it just didn't work.
Well, the only one they rushed were 3 members of the Hand.
Yes, 3 out of 5.
True, but
One of which was super interesting. The black guy was really interesting, and they just kind of cut him out. And I know he was supposed to be Luke Cage's, like, because he's the person who didn't have to, like, kill him. He could just take out his muscles.
And he's black.
And he was black. But, like, he
Another
was
black on black fight.
such an interesting character. Madame Gao, I didn't like that she became... I wanted her to be, like, the head of the hand. Sigourney Weaver, I never realized why she was important. Like, she never did anything that made... Like, she would threaten people and they were afraid of her, but I never got to the point where it was like, what did she do that made her so
I didn't understand why
threatening?
the black sky was important. All because like other outside of being you're a trained fighter, the fact that they put so much money into her, like they or not money, but like they said, like we put all of our resources, we put all of our goo to bring you back, and now we're gonna
I
die.
put all my
I
goo
just
in
I
it,
never
so-
understood why, like her importance.
Well, she's supposed to have the fighting ability and the knowledge and the combat experience of 10 generations, which I got it. I don't understand either. But if you would take that into a weapon, they can get anywhere, kill anybody, do anything, and they could change the course of history.
She sucked at killing people though.
She did.
She really sucked.
All right, so we're way off of the Misty's arm topic. So
I
here's
think
what
it's,
I'm gonna-
I think it looks cool.
Okay, that's what I want to know. So, aside from where
You're
it
the only
comes
one.
from, so here, not counting where it's coming from or how she got it, do we like the way it looks? Do you feel like it fits into the Netflix Marvel universe?
No.
Yes.
You do not? You do?
Yes.
So do I. All right, so that's 3 A's and an A. So let's move on to a more interesting topic. Yeah, what did I say? 3 A's and an A?
You don't count.
No. I think
I'm
it's
looking at my mirror. I'm
It's
looking at my
one
reflection
day,
mirror.
1 day, and you don't count.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna move on to a really interesting topic. And this is something that I read on the ether of the internet, and that is that Hasbro, everyone's favorite toy maker, who's currently not currently. Well, they are currently making Transformers toys. They have a He-Man line, I think, still coming out. What else does Hasbro do?
Hasbro is kind of like
Has
the
a hand in
Funko
everything.
Pops, the thing. It's just like any property, we're going to just make a toy out of it. I'm
But-
not sure.
Did you know that they are currently suing DC Comics and Warner Brothers?
They have the right to.
They
They got the trademark on the name.
got the trademark on the name first.
So
But it kind of seems just a little.
it's
It's
over the Captain
petty.
Marvel and the Shazam. Kind of that way there, where just you can change the name
Hmm
and we won't sue you.
Yeah.
So
Well, one, I hope they would realize let's not make a Bumblebee movie or worry about that kind of line and just just stick with Transformers.
But it's not that. So it's not there's two movies conflicting. It's the fact that they are upset that there's that DC superhero girls.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm saying it right.
She's a girl who can shrink. She is the
no,
Wasp.
the actual show. The show's called DC. Isn't it DC Superhero
Yeah,
Girls?
DC super.
Oh.
Yeah, DC
Yeah.
superhero girls.
Don't go with the character.
No,
And it's
they thought very hard about
not.
that title.
I have not watched a full episode, but for being able to see that it's selling, like their toys and their dolls sell, and that's something that's unheard of for female toys. or
It's
that's-
because this is the age for super females,
Mhm.
and like my daughter can fall in love with these. Can say, "Oh, I want to be that one." And Bumblebee is a black superhero,
Yep.
female, so she is going to be popular among black female girls.
Where were these girls from
And
Young
also-
Justice?
Yeah, but also to give, but this is completely different. No, this is completely different.
Well,
These
that's
toys-
what the thing they said. They said girls weren't
yeah,
buying the toys.
but these toys weren't. They
Where
didn't
were
hey,
you?
stop. There weren't toys like this though.
I know. I'm just
And so,
being facetious.
but so you have this whole complete, and it was also that there's not just one girl. I mean, they made Harley Quinn relevant in this series, and they took away the whole idea of the villains and everything. They're all in a school together, but they hits, and there are guys in it too. So you see, I think Green Lantern's been in it.
Red Tornado.
Red Tornado. But like you said, it's Bumblebee who shows up. Diana's in it. Supergirl, Batgirl, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn. But yeah, it just hits a ton of different females. So you have a ton of different characters to pick from versus all the other shows where it's, with Young Justice, they only really advertised really Miss Martian and Artemis.
This is also the first cartoon where it doesn't stereotype females and objectify them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very good show to watch that just like, oh, where they're not showing off too much of their body.
Yeah.
There's a story to follow for the female audience.
Yeah, and so I mean, I think it's being someone who wants there to be more diversity amongst fans, and for younger fans to get into it. This is great because I know a lot of people who said there was nothing for me to watch as a kid. Like I had no way of getting into. I watched the Batman animated series because everyone else did, but like I had nothing that I could latch on to. There was Batgirl, but she was in 3 episodes, and then she was in more episodes in the season 4 animated series.
So what's this lawsuit all about? Like, are they just mad because are they just
They're saying that DC they have the trademark for Bumblebee, and then Bumblebee in the TV show, it's conflicting, and so they feel like it's a determining factor in the slight in sales for Bumblebee, for the car Bumblebee.
It's an improper use of the name, and it's a deception to personnel who are out purchasing and looking for merchandise. It's what their entire argument is based off of.
And how come they're suing for the one black character on the show?
It's
One black character.
Okay, but here's my
not a
thing.
race thing.
If you're going out, okay, and they're saying like it could take away from their sales because you're going out looking for a Bumblebee toy and you come across this Bumblebee, you're gonna buy the doll versus the car because it's just conflicting of the name of the identity.
Well, what if you don't know? Say my niece comes to me and says, "Hey, Uncle Silk, can you give me the new Bumblebee doll toy?" I go out there and grab it. I'm thinking Transformers. I don't know this cartoon exists. I go out there, buy Bumblebee, get her a car. It's not what she's looking for. So
Return that.
or vice versa.
Get a nice little credit. Sometimes you can use the
Or you just
percentage
buy
on that
both.
credit too.
Buy both, Uncle Silk.
Uncle Silk's kind of cheap.
Some people on a budget, you get one toy. That's
Hey,
it.
I'm gonna return that. But no, okay. You know what? I already know how to fix this. One of the companies can do the other. Just space out between Bumble and Bee. And also, I feel like,
Hyphen.
That honestly would do it.
and honestly, this is what irritates me. I hate the fact that people can buy rights to a basic name. Bumblebee. They did not come up with Bumblebee. Bumblebee is an actual bee.
So does that mean that
Type
the
of
bees
bee.
that attack us now, we cannot say bumblebees anymore
Nope.
without being sued?
You gotta say Bumblebee
So it's like bumble.
with the space in it.
If I'm running from it, I'm not gonna have time to hyphen and put that space.
And let's be honest, the car should be called Rumblebee. Cars rumble.
Okay, but let's.
No.
All right. So the idea though is,
Put your
like
hand
we
down.
mentioned before, the only reason that Hasbro has leverage here is because
No one's talking about
no,
Bumblebee.
because they got the trademark first.
Yep, they went to and got the trademark first.
Even though the Bumblebee character appeared in Teen Titans in 1977, and then Bumblebee, the character in in Transformers didn't show up to I think it was 1983.
Doesn't matter.
I know, I'm just saying, but
Yeah.
it's the trademark. That's what they have on there. Even though one character's been around longer, it's just
But this is very similar to what the Fine Bros did back in, I think it was like a year or so ago when they tried to trademark the word React, and it was like going to put a lot of React videos like in a lot of lawsuits. Bumblebee is not they didn't invent Bumblebee. You can't trademark like Harry
You
Potter's
can.
one thing.
No, you
can
can.
you can trademark
That's the issue.
Harry Potter. But Bumblebee is not just the Transformer, though.
it doesn't
That's-
matter. They did it.
I
And
know
so-
they bought it, but that's just really irritating.
You can as long as the capital B is capital, and make it an actual name. Then they can trademark that.
Or maybe they just take one E out of the Bumblebee.
I think a space or a hyphen makes it.
hyphen will
Colon.
I mean that's the loophole. But no, so the issue
But that
is,
means DC lost.
but ultimately it doesn't matter because DC or Hasbro got the trademark. They have the rights to say it. Like you said, we either have to hyphen it or change the way it's spelled. Like you said, Bumble, capital Bee. I'm not sure if that would get by.
No, it would have to be spaced or
It's
or
just-
hyphen or hyphen.
It's horrible to begin with. This is idiotic.
It
Even
is.
have this.
And like we briefly mentioned off air, it was. I mean, the reason that Transformers is doing well in their own, in its circle, because you'll have, we grew up loving, the Transformers TV show, and so I believe that's where you're getting your real pull from. but also I can't think like a little boy does nowadays. Like when we were growing up, we were more based on buying things off of the TV show versus the movie. We didn't have the movies that are out right now to really go off of. But I didn't like the Transformers movie Transformers. It was a lot of things Transformers. But no, the toys from the new movies, like I got one and it wasn't cool. Like I didn't like it at all.
We bought the toys based off of Transformers Armada. That was the
the big one for us.
That was our Transformers because we didn't really
Beast
watch
Wars.
the 80s.
I had a lot of
Beast
Beast
Wars
Wars.
was really cool. But yeah, Armada was our show, and that's where we got. That's why
I really
got
like
all our
Transformers
toys.
Armada.
Yeah.
The Transformers, the original is what I grew up with, and
You
Bumblebee
old.
was what? Yes, sir?
You old.
So we'll take care of this later. So Bumblebee is not this hot, flashy car. He is not this person that everybody wants to have on his side. He was literally a klutz. He messed up all the time. He was a bug, a Volkswagen Beetle, and that was a Bumblebee. So now we're supposed to grow up and fall in love with another car, and now we trademark the name so nobody else can take it. First off, you changed him to begin with. So you changed him to fit this mode to attract other people, and then said, now we're going to trademark this.
Hot Shot was better.
Hot Shot was kind of the one that they Hot Rod.
No, it was Hot Shot. I'm telling you, Hot Shot was
Hot Rod was no.
It was Hot Shot.
Hot Rod was in the movie, wasn't he?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Hot Shot was in our Transformers Armada was pretty
He
much
was
Bumblebee, but he was just better.
But no, so I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was idiotic. I just thought that it would be interesting to get you guys' opinion on it. I think this is just a cash grab. I don't believe that the two audiences are, I don't know. I guess I just don't.
I think the DC audience is going to care, and they're going to be affected because the name's going to have to change one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
So Hasbro, when they win this, is going to alienate and piss off a lot of DC audience for that simple change.
Yeah. And we can do it on the two fronts. I know we didn't want to say this, but like Addison kind of mentioned, it's the race thing. The only black character. I know it's the name, but like that's how it's going to look. The only black character is the one they're having an issue with. And then it's a female show versus a boy show. And then so here Hasbro's really pushing against this one, a black female character, which is selling, let's be honest, that doesn't happen.
Nope.
Well, since Moana came out, it seems like
Moana
that is really
more
big
minority.
for minority
Yeah.
to have power. And this is a big thing. And I don't want them to change it. I think it's idiotic to even have this to begin with.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I'm pretty sure that the Bumblebee DC character is not pulling in anywhere close to product in which Bumblebee Transformers is putting it in. That merchandise alone is by far just crushing DC. But you're now taking away or changing what our girls are already falling in love with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also because they are trying to make a Bumblebee movie, so that means Hasbro is going to be
That is
pushing
a
a
big
lot
thing. Yep.
They're going to be pushing a lot of Bumblebee stuff. Even if it's not Bumblebee the character, they're still going to be like the toy. They're going to sell like whatever character, and it's going to be small Transformers Bumblebee movie, and that's what they're going to be pushing.
Well, is DC Bumblebee have to change their colors too? They have the same color, black and yellow.
Does Wiz Khalifa have to change a song?
That means they would have to come against the Steelers next.
Mm-hmm.
So the Steelers change their color because we can't have both of those.
Watch tomorrow. That's what Hasbro does. They sue everyone that has black and yellow.
All right. Well, let's we'll veer off of that because we can all agree this is just stupid.
Idiotic.
It's a waste of
Moronic.
time. This was a stupid story, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to bring up. The last thing that I want to talk about, we were going to talk about Batman or Gotham by Gaslight, but instead we'll just do controversial stories today. We'll talk about everyone's favorite blue collar worker, the true. Well, he's not even American. Mario, the dude with the red hat with the giant M on it, who goes to work on mushrooms. He did, Anyway, so the big news story was that I believe it was in a tweet description of Mario. It was that, Mario was once a plumber, and then it went on to talk about it. But the phrase "he was once a plumber" has triggered some individuals who are feeling like someone is now changing their childhood. Someone said that they said ruined my childhood, destroyed a franchise. This is PC in the works. Liberal. There was a lot of liberal mumbo jumbo thrown in there. People were mad that someone changed Mario's background to make it more PC, which I don't get.
How's it more PC?
They actually haven't given him a new job. They just said he's not a plumber.
Oh no, they said he's no longer a plumber because he's focused on sports and race cars.
Yes, but they didn't give him a new job. They just said
Gave him interests.
He's not a plumber. He's more like a entrepreneur in the sports world.
I thought he would just get money every time he saved Peach, like a reward, and he just lived off that.
Well, my thought is
him and Bowser had a deal where it was just like, hey, I'm out of money, kidnap the princess, and I'll save her, and I'll split it between us.
That's a good deal.
Exactly.
The way this list played out to me was in the first Mario game, he was a plumber.
Yes.
And then he went on to this adventure, and then it kind of just kept escalating to it was he's no longer just a plumber. His job was to save the princess and junk like that.
From the royalties he made from saving the princess, from going to different worlds, different lands, and seeing everything else, and he brought back all this treasure and gold with him, he no longer has to be a plumber. So now he can be anything he wants to. He can devote. He's a multi-billionaire.
Anything he wants to be.
And I have played a lot of Mario games. I have never played a level where he actually did some plumbing. I've never. Nope.
Well, if there was actually like the old pipes game,
where's the pipes game? Now, if they said that was the original Mario game, I'd have been like, okay.
Well, when he goes down in the pipes, which you can't see off screen, he has to clean the pipe before he can go down inside of him.
He's too fat. He's already cleaning it. It's just like, oh god, and it's just
that would be a clog.
His body going down. The pipe is cleaning it. It's just
that's disgusting. Like you hear like, ooh, and then it comes out all disgusting and dirty, like covered with hair.
And then that's his special ability. Then he's super fast because he's covered in crap. He's just like. He's just sliding through.
He's covered in crap, so he's invincible because nobody wants to touch him.
That's the real star. That's the real star.
So tell me, what do you guys think? Do you think this has ruined the Mario franchise for you? Has this changed the way you view Mario by any chance?
I think that this here just falls into the genre that everybody is waiting to be offended by something, and that they are just getting offended because they believe it's something that's changed and it's detrimental to themselves.
But a lot of the people who are yelling that this is ruining their childhood and are doing the real complaining are the ones who are calling out snowflakes. The ones who are saying, "Oh, yeah, everyone's offended for this, and this," but this is the thing that is triggering a lot of people.
It makes sense, though.
It does?
This one here actually makes sense. He's no longer a plumber.
Oh, I thought we were talking about people being upset. I was like, it does.
No, it makes sense. He's no longer a plumber.
Yeah, no, the fact that people can buy Drano and have their own snakes. Who needs to call a plumber when you can do it all yourself?
Aside from getting like super literal, and you're right.
And besides, like they've done so much other stuff. Like Luigi fights ghosts. Like he's not a plumber. He's a Ghostbuster. And Mario won.
Like tennis is a sports commissioner.
He's a race car driver. He plays every single sport.
Literally. And winter sports.
Yeah, and he saves princesses. So it's like, yeah, when would he ever have time to be a plumber again? Who's going to play that game?
Mario Sunshine may have been the closest thing to a plumber job because he actually worked with water.
I thought it was because the game was full of shit, but okay.
You didn't like Mario Sunshine?
No, I didn't.
Really? I did. I thought it was a lot of fun for the...
Like my favorite game by far of all the Marios is Paper.
Really?
Paper Mario was just fun.
And he's always partying. Mario always in Mario Party. He's like
so he's an alcoholic.
Yeah, and there's no time for him to be a plumber. So the fact that it says he was once a plumber, we were all once something. He's been doing this for years.
Super serious and super real about this.
Yes, that's
so it makes sense that he's no longer a plumber. Yes, everybody had a job. He is an adventurer now. He gave up his past life to go out and seek adventure, and he realized I have to save the princess. I like this kind of stuff. I like going out and doing things and saving people and helping people. What's on the next horizon? Let's go to this next hill. Oh, there's a race. There's a race. Let me hop into a car since I have some money stashed away. Throw some of them gold cars, make myself a car. Hop inside a car. Oh, there's the Olympics coming up. I'm pretty good with jumping abilities. Let's see if I can get into the Olympics. I mean, it makes sense that they pushed him from being a standard decent plumber to being this all around hero.
And he's still wearing his plumber's uniform. Nothing's changed. He's not wearing what's it called? Joggers, like blue joggers,
They changed his costume.
Yeah, like a red blazer or whatever.
I thought they changed his not permanently, but for one game his costume was different.
It's changed for the game.
So, but here's my other thought.
He's still
So,
who he is.
for people who are upset, are people mad about Mickey Mouse? Mickey Mouse was a sailor.
He has not sailed
He
in
was
a long time.
Yeah, he has not sailed in a long
He sailed
time.
once.
Steamboat, but he started
Yeah,
out
was it
Steamboat
Willie?
Willie.
Steamboat
Yeah,
Willie.
he originally was a sailor.
And Kermit the Frog played the guitar in
Banjo.
a swamp. The banjo in the swamp.
I like how we both got really serious. No, it's not a guitar.
He
It's a
left.
banjo.
He left the swamp. People aren't mad that he's like, why is he play? He's supposed to be in the swamp playing the banjo.
Can I just say something real quick on Kermit the Frog? There was there was two instances. One, I think you were with me for it, but there was what was that one show where they remodeled people's houses? Makeover Home Edition.
Yes.
There was one where they brought the Muppets in and they did a whole Muppet special, and they get the community together and they sings Rainbow Connection. I got really weird watching it, like glazy eyed, because it was anyway.
You're just weak, but it's okay.
Rainbow
Okay,
Connection
you know,
has a weird.
It has a weird effect on people.
No, it has a weird effect on you.
So we watched the new Muppet Show.
Which was actually.
I liked
liked
that
it.
show. I liked the new Muppet Show.
It wasn't a bad show.
It wasn't worth. I mean, there are worse things on TV right now that stuck.
Oh my God, there's a whole lot of worse things on TV.
And it's
right
funny
now.
that they
But
really.
there's the Rainbow Connection episode, and I
Yeah.
remember you were like, "You're gonna freaking cry."
No, it's funny about that show. They put a lot of emphasis on that new pig that Kermit was gonna be dating. You saw her twice, and
But
she
I
was
thought-
not there for. She wasn't there for like.
There was like a
Loved-
2-week long previews where they had it coming out. Oh, Kermit's got a new pig, and everybody's like, "Oh, Piggy's gone, great," because she's kind of psychotic.
And she's doing like movies or whatever.
Yeah, so it was awesome. Like he was gonna move on. It was like, well, no, we just got to go back to my baby mama. All right,
I just
got it.
thought, I mean, even the plot line for it wasn't bad. Like, I liked the idea that even Kurt was like, I just, he was like, what kind of life do I have? I'm the producer of my own show. Of course, it's featuring my ex-girlfriend. And then like went on this whole list. He went, you know what? Never mind. I'm in hell.
You're like, I'm in actual hell.
It's a decent show. I mean, if I want to watch something like horrible, I just like watch Steven Universe. But it was a good show to watch, so I'm okay with that.
You see, that was a lure.
Don't bite.
And no, I'm not gonna
Don't
bite.
bite.
I'm not gonna bite. So, but I guess we can all agree
That this is
that
stupid.
this is another stupid. I guess I should rename this this episode. I was gonna try to think of something with Misty's arm.
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy.
Oh, you might get. They might have trademark.
We
for
might,
that, so you might get in
get
trouble.
trademark for that one
That was a
too.
good movie. That was just funny.
I did not like that.
That was a documentary.
It was.
Now it's a documentary.
It was a feature documentary.
It was just idiotic and it was stupid and you take it for what it worth and it was just like, all right, this is funny.
Ain't worth nothing.
It
though.
wasn't.
But no, so that's kind of it for this week. We've covered 3 interesting topics, one of which was actually worth talking about, 2 of which were stupid cash grabs.
Which
Well, not even
we-
cash
which
grabs.
we
One was
all
a
had
cash grab. The other one is I don't know.
And it's weird that we had
controversy.
long discussions about 2 of the stupidest topics ever.
Well, I just want to say that if Mario can change his life and his life goals, then so can we.
Yeah, it's a model for how we can live our lives.
He was an immigrant that came here. He was an immigrant that
Say it.
came to the Mushroom Kingdom and made something of himself.
So he was the Hamilton of the Mushroom Kingdom.
Sure, why
Got
not?
it. We go with that.
All right. Well, that's going to bring us to the end of our episode. I just want to point out for those of you who didn't know that we do giveaways. We currently just wrapped up our token Manta giveaway where we gave away an X-ray Black Manta figure. It was I think it's 3 inches, hand painted, pretty awesome piece. It's the dissection half. So you have your character. In this case, it was Black Manta, and then on the opposite side, it was like the dissection. So you saw like the bones on the inside. Really cool figure. And that actually just ended a couple days ago. But you can easily check out our Instagram at token_nerd and Twitter token_nerd, and Facebook, tokennerd00, where we do post any of our upcoming giveaways. I believe with the upcoming Wonder Woman movie, we'll be giving away a special Wonder Woman prize. Yes, I have to check one more time, but I'm pretty sure we have a Wonder Woman prize coming up.
The DVD release.
For the DVD release, yes. So we have something coming up by around the end of September. So definitely pay attention for that. Like I said before, check out our social media pages. That's where we post everything throughout the week. So if a topic that we don't cover here, most likely it will somewhere end up on our social media pages. So I want to reach over to Addison real quick. Addison, where can people find you at?
You can find me at the Casual Movie Fan on Twitter and Instagram, and also follow my podcast, The Real Film Geeks, at Twitter and Instagram, just Real Film Geeks.
And Silk.
And you can find me Thursday watching It.
Ooh, that's right. So
Find what theater he's at. If you find him, he'll give you a prize.
If you find him, yeah, there's a prize if you can find him.
If you can find what theater I'm at in Dayton, we will make sure we send the Blu-ray DVD of the Wonder Woman to you.
I think we were like, that's a very expensive commitment.
That's an easy commitment.
But no,
myself.
I do want to see. I'm very excited for it. There are several shows that
Addison, do you want to see It?
Nope.
Yeah, Addison says no. But no, there are several different.
They said this is like the scariest movie in like a long time.
Yeah.
So I am no.
That's the only reason. I don't like scary movies, but I'm really excited for this.
I think a real film geek should be there to watch the movie so he can critique it better.
Whoa, Silk. Why don't you shut up?
All right, folks. Well, stay tuned. We do have several episodes that should be coming out in the near future. We need to cover our Death Note review. Eventually, we need to talk about Defenders. And then hopefully we'll have an It episode coming up. So there are 3 episodes that should be coming up in the near future. As always, folks, I'm Anthony.
I'm Addison.
Ooh, this is awkward. I'm Anthony.
I'm Silk.
And I'm Addison.
Stay spicy, my friends.
Hey everyone, this is Travis Likens from Token Nerd Podcast, and I'm here today to tell you something about sponsorship. That's right, Token Nerd now has a sponsor. The fine folks at TenaciousToys.com, your source for designer toys, pop vinyl, original art, and more, are now our sponsor. And guess what? As a part of that, you can get 10% off your next order at TenaciousToys.com by entering the code TOKEN10 at checkout. That's right, 10% off. And not only are they giving you this code, they're also going to be sponsoring many of our Token Nerd giveaways in the next coming months. So make sure to follow us at token_nerd on Instagram to catch our latest giveaways.